Good morning, everybody. Good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the Demolition League. This is game number 20, and we are in the first of a three-game set between the Kansas City Royals and the Pittsburgh Pirates from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Starting pitchers for today's game, Marco Gonzales from Pittsburgh and Michael Wacha from the Kansas City Royals. Ballpark effects in Pittsburgh. Singles are 1 to 13, both left and right, and home runs are 1 to 3, both left and right. And of course, since we're in the morning time, gotta have this. Tools of the trade, just as important as a pencil or pen or whatever. Gotta have your coffee, so got that. I just think coffee and Strat go together like peanut butter and jelly. One thing I am doing is setting my lineups. I did do the rest rolls ahead of time. For Kansas City, Hunter Renfroe, who normally plays right field, will have to rest in this game. And Connor Joe, who normally plays first base, will have to rest in this game for Pittsburgh. So we got adjusted starting lineups. So I'm going to score this on the computer as we play it. So I want to get the computer up to date on so that these lineups match exactly. So I am just updating the lineups now on the computer. So once I do that, we will be ready to go. I want to make sure we got everybody where they're supposed to be. Make sure I don't have anybody out of batting order. So this will take just a quick second. It won't take long. Bart there, with Gonzales there. Zawinski and Taylor will finish it out. Sure, we got Taylor in center, Zawinski in left, and Reynolds in right. So Pittsburgh's lineup is all set on the computer. Double check it, make sure. Cruz, McCutcheon, Reynolds, Tellez, Hayes, and Bart. Gonzales. Yep, that's all good. Now we got to do Kansas City's. Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino. And then Perez, the catcher. And then we're going to have Hampson, who doesn't get to play very often, but he's facing a lefty, so it's a good chance to get him some at-bats. He's not strictly a platoon player, but he favors that way. Let's see, we got Frazier, who normally plays second base, but he's playing left field in this one, so they can get Lofton in the game at second base, who hits well against lefties. And then we have Melendez, the DH. And center field is Blanco. All right. Now we're all set. Everything is everything, as they say. Hello, Midlife. Good to see you. Got our Pittsburgh colored dice. Normally I go just to red, white, and traditional, but I figured since Pittsburgh is black and gold, why not do something a little bit different? I like trying different things on the channel. As you saw, if you saw last night, or not saw, but heard last night, I took my maiden voyage and probably my only voyage into a project like that, but it was very awkward. It's very hard to call a game waiting on typed words on the screen instead of seeing something, the action come out in front of you. To me, it'd be a whole lot easier to call an actual game because you would see the things going on. And of course, I didn't have any kind of background noise, so it was just in between pitches, it was dead air, so there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that. But try to give everybody a feel for 1976. I found those old radio commercials and put them in between innings and try to make it seem like you were going to a commercial and then coming back and whatever. May have been cheesy, but it was worth a shot. So, hello Bart, hello Midlife, good to see both of you. All right, so Marco Gonzales didn't have many starts for Pittsburgh, but he did start in the beginning of the season, so I wanted to get his start in now. 1-1 with a 4.54 ERA and 7 starts. Because he didn't pitch very much, his injury factor is 6.7. If we roll a 6.7, he will be checked for injury. No question about it. Pitcher, catcher, hold, he's a -2. Bart is a +1. So he is a -1 for holding runners. Perez is a -2. Wacha is a -1, so he is a -3 when it comes to holding runners. All right, so I've got the game on the computer, so I can try to give you the stats. Yeah, I was stretched out as it was, trying to get everything the way it was. I was basically just sitting up in bed. The game was on my laptop, the Diamond Mine game, and I was playing it pitch by pitch, trying to say what happened. And then in between innings, I had the commercials on my TV on YouTube to play. I had them all lined up to play back to back to back. So try to do that. So it was a lot. I almost needed a producer or something. Like I said, it's probably most likely that's a one and done. But my next big goal is to work on a rare playbook for Strat-O-Matic. That's my next big venture, is to go there, because I think that would be more helpful to the community than what I did last night. Oh, and Tabby has joined us. She wasn't in the other room. Now she's decided to come in here. She heard dice clanking on the tray, I guess. So she decided to check it out. So pretty. Such a pretty girl. Okay, I think we're back now, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure what's going on with that. My internet said it was good, but YouTube didn't like it apparently. So lo and behold, now we're doing, having to reboot here. So hopefully we can move forward. Hey, ID, good to see you. All right, I had to reboot. I had to shut down the computer basically and reboot it. It's the only way I could get this thing to get going. Tabby is right here next to me, and she's causing a little havoc as well. So, all right. So, fortunately, the game never got started, so you didn't miss anything. All right. So, like I said, I just went through the preliminaries. Ballpark effects 1 to 13 left and right. Home runs 1 to 3 left and right. Injury chances for Gonzales 6-7. Injury chance for Wacha 6-12. Renfroe had to rest from Kansas City, so he can only come in the 7th inning or later, but Garrett Hampson took his place. Connor Joe had to rest for Pittsburgh, so Rowdy Tellez took his place at first base. So I think you're caught up now, pretty much on everything that's there before the game gets going. I do have the game I did have the game on the Strat computer until the Strat computer puked on me, so we're going to go ahead and play it without the Strat computer, and maybe that will help out a little bit. We shall see. Who needs a stinking computer, right? I can go ahead and just enter the game after I'm done. It doesn't take that long. The coffee's still warm, so that's a good thing. All right, so leading off is third baseman Michael Garcia. We get a 4-7, and that's a solid single off of Marco Gonzales. And Garcia, good threat to run. He stole 37 bases, only caught twice. Very successful. That's why he's got a 19 sitting there. So to get the lead, needs a 2 through 5. And he gets the 5, he will get the lead. That's a 19, being held as a 17. And then -1 is a 16. So 1 to 16, he will go. The T rating on Bart's only a 2, so not much of a risk of throwing the ball away. That's a 20, though. He got caught stealing. Boy, how do you like that? That's like the anti-devil die right there, because it usually comes with a 1 all the time. This time it came up as a 20. And everybody's going to get caught on a 20. So Mikel is out of there. 1 away, and here's Bobby Witt, the shortstop. Hello, Canadian. That's a 1-9 against the left-hander. That's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Gonzales. 2 down. Gonzales, the pitcher, got the Witt to ground to Gonzales, the second baseman. How about that? And I believe both spell their name the same. Yep, both end in an S, not a Z. All right, here's Vinny Pasquantino. And he's one of my favorite players in this replay, just because of the name. I love the name Vinny Pasquantino. It sounds like somebody that should be on the, I don't know, Sopranos or something. Or Goodfellas or something like that. 3-6 is a line out to short. Lines it right to O'Neill Cruz. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Marco Gonzales. He's not Marco Polo. He's Marco Gonzales. And here's Michael Wacha, 13-8, 3.35 ERA in 29 starts. And he has a 612 injury factor. If he rolls a 612, we'll check him for injury. O'Neill Cruz, and these lineups I had to make up myself. So if they're bad, blame me, because now that we're going, I'm getting away from the as played, because I did that for the first 3 games, but now that we're in the 4th game, we're doing injuries. I'm just making the lineup I see fit based on injuries, or not injuries, but rest, and injuries too, for that matter. 310, and that is a fly ball to right field, and that is 1 away. And I don't know if you got here when I was mentioning it before, ID, but my next goal, I always talk about goals. My next goal is to create a working and viable rare playbook for Strat-O-Matic instead of using their not so rare plays. I'm going to try to make something that's compatible with Strat-O-Matic. So when you roll a G2 rare play, you'll have this set of rare plays. If you roll an S1 rare play, you'll have another set of rare plays, and so forth. So that's what I'm going to try to do. It may take a while because I don't want to rush anything, but it's something I'm definitely going to be working on. All right, here's Andrew McCutcheon, the veteran, 2-8, and he's going to draw a base on balls. McCutcheon's been around a long time. I remember him back in like 2013 and 14. He was still around. He's been around about 12 years at least. Not much of a threat to run anymore. He did steal 3 bases, but got caught twice, so he will hold on. And here is Brian Reynolds, or Pasquatch. Okay, that's a pretty cool name. I like that name. Reynolds, a switch hitter batting left, 2-3. Is a ground ball first C, and that will be a 3-1 put out, courtesy of our friend Clee baseball fan, otherwise known as Tribe fan. He's the one that, at least as far as I know, he's the one that came up with that little niche where if it's a ground ball C or to first base, or a ground ball X to first base, that the play is recorded first base to pitcher covering. At any rate, McCutcheon will take second base. It is now a clutch situation for Rowdy Tellez, another one of my favorite names in this replay. That is true, ID. That is true. A gamer should not have to do that. The game company should be the one doing that. I mean, even if they didn't feel like diving into it on their own, hey, put it out on their website. Send us rare play suggestions, and then they can analyze them. If they like them, they can use them. It doesn't have to be, Hal Richmond, 87.5 years old, doesn't have to be sitting there trying to figure out rare plays. Let the community send it in, But, I won't even go off on that tangent. All right, I'll control myself. 5-6 is a ground ball to first, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Buccos. Like I said, I'm going to try not to get on a Strat-O-Matic customer service type, what they could do for the customer rant, but sometimes it comes out when I'm playing. It's because I'm passionate about the game. If I didn't care about the game, I could care less about what Strat-O-Matic does, but I care about the game, and I want it to be the best game. So best game it can, like the Army slogan. I was in the Army way back when, but the Army slogan was "Be all you can be." Right now, Strat is not being all it can be. It's an excellent game. The nuts and bolts to it are excellent, but there are improvements that are out there to be had if they ever want to seek for them. It's not good for a company to rest on their laurels and just be satisfied with mediocre. Should always be striving for excellence. All right, here is Salvador Perez, 5-6, and that's a ground ball toward. 1 away. I mean, I try to do that on this channel, not the excellence part, but I try different things because I never know what's going to stick, or I never know what's going to work or not work. Case in point was last night. I would have never thought to try something like that. If you had told me to try that, 2 months ago, I'd have laughed at your face. I said, I'm not doing that. But I tried just to be different. If you go back and look at my older videos, I played a Strat-O-Matic game outdoors at a Little League field with kids around playing. Just try to do different stuff, I don't want to be doing the same exact run-of-the-mill stuff over and over and over and over. Try to bring some variety if I can. So that's why I never want to have just one project going, because that's going to get stale too. You need to mix it up a little bit. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, here's Garrett Hampson, 5'8", and that's a walk. Because that just, if I get on my soapbox, and it ruins or lessens the enjoyment of the game I'm playing at the time. So I'll leave the rants to the professionals like ID. All right, so Hampson can get the lead on a 5 or a 6. He does not get the lead. He will hold, and here comes Adam Frazier. Oh, cool, Jeremiah. That I have not done. I haven't flown the plane since 1990. So last time I flew on a plane, you didn't have to take your shoes off. So that's how far ago I was on a plane. So I don't know anything about what they've got going on now about, all the stuff that they do. But when I was on a plane in 1990, all I had to do was walk through one. There was one metal detector you walked through, and that was about it. All right, so 5-5 again against the lefty is a ballpark blast. Ballpark blast, but it's only a 3, and that's a 16, so it's a fly to right, and that's out number 2. 2 down. Yes, Alex, I did. I did re-roll for the batter. Once he didn't get the jump, I picked this thing up, and well, when I roll for the jump, I roll the 2d6s plus the d20 to make sure there's no 1 or 2. Then when he didn't get the jump, I picked all the dice up and re-rolled everything again. So fresh set of dice. That's just a havoc roll. Nothing happens, so we're going to re-roll the dice. 2-5 for Lofton. That's a 1-2 single. That's a 15. He lines it to third, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing there. Marco Gonzales, despite his 4.54 earned run average, just kept Kansas City quiet for 2 innings. And we'll go to the bottom of the second for Ke'Bryan Hayes. And as far as the Strat-O-Matic rare play thing goes, I'm also trying to figure out if I should leave it alone or maybe look for another avenue of how to initiate rare plays. Do we only do it when we roll a 5 on a defensive check, or do we, no, whether when I go for the lead, I don't re-roll the havoc again. That takes care of the havoc right there. I don't feel that it's necessary to redo it. All right, here's Ke'Bryan Hayes. I mean, if you want to do it, that's fine. I just don't, to me, it doesn't seem like it's necessary. 2-8 against the right-hander, and that's a pop out to short, and that's 1 away. Ke'Bryan Hayes is retired. Hello, Thomas. Good morning to you. Here's Joey Bart. I see that name, and the first thing that comes to my mind, I know it's stupid as hell, is that Mall Cop movie that the guy from, I think his name Kevin James or something was in. He did 2 of them. They liked the first one so much, they did a second one. But I think wasn't his name like Bart the Mall Cop or something like that? So I don't know. 2-4. He got hit by a pitch, though. He didn't like that. So Joey Bart gets plunked. And here is, well, Jeremiah, I have my home brew on this runner speed thing. Whenever I throw for the lead runner, I only allow the trailing runner to advance if their speed is 13 or higher. If they're a 10, 11, 12 speed, they have to stand pat. To me, it's just not realistic that everybody moves up. Slow running guys are not going to move up and take the extra base. All right, here's Gonzales, 2-7, and that's a fly to left, 2 down. Probably so, midlife. I doubt I think I'll just leave it as is, because what that does is that takes you to whatever the situation is, whether it's G2, SI2, DO3, whatever the result happens to be, any of that kind of stuff. So I probably just will leave. I have enough to worry about trying to get the plays without worrying about how to engage them. It's 2-8, but I like to try to think outside the box whenever I can. 2-8's a walk. Sometimes I start thinking about all kinds of strange, odd stuff. Something will stick. Maybe I'll think of 6 things and 5 of them are terrible and 1 of them might work. So, but if I didn't think about those 6 things, I would have never gotten to the one thing. So that's the way my strange mind works sometimes. All right, here's Michael Taylor. 2-7, and he strikes out to end the inning. So after 2 complete, we got no score. And if you hear noise in the background, somebody is mowing their lawn. I think it's not somebody, but somebody hired somebody to mow. I'm not going to pay somebody to cut grass. I will do that myself gladly. But it sounds like one of those mowers that they stand up and ride behind and whatnot. It sounds more like a landscaping lawnmower than somebody's push mower out there or something. So I don't know. All right. Here is MJ Melendez, the designated hitter. Oh, we got hopping dice. We're going to re-roll that. 4-9, and that's going to be a in-home run chance, 1-16. That's a 1, but Melendez has weak power. I know you can't hardly see it on here. I'll bring it up closer. He's got a W there. W right there. He's got N against righties, W against lefties. So it will not be a home run. It will simply be a single for MJ Melendez. MJ Melendez will get a base hit. And in the basic game, he'd hit a home run because you don't worry about that in the basic game, which is why I don't play basic. I'll preface that, don't play basic anymore. I started in basic because that's how you start. But as the Bible scripture says, when I was a child, I thought like a child, but when I got older, I put away childish things. All right, there's your sermon for the day. All right, here's Blanco. 3-11, and that's a walk, so 2-1, nobody out. Royals have something cooking here in the third, and Garcia, the batter, he singled and was caught stealing his first time up. 110 against the left-hander, and that's trouble. 1-3 is a triple, 4-20 is a double. It's a double to center field. It's assumed to go to center when it's not listed. Scoring is Melendez. Blanco can fly. He's going to probably score without a throw. He runs at a 17, was not being held as a trail runner, makes him an 18. The center fielder, Zawinski, is a -1 arm, so it's a 1-17. But since Garcia runs at a 16, he would take third on the overthrow. So they're just going to, with nobody out, they don't want him going to third base. They want to keep him at second base. If he goes to third, they got to bring the infield in. So sometimes you got to sacrifice for the greater cause. And so it's a 2-run double for Michael Garcia. And the Royals lead it 2-0. Here's Bobby Witt. Gave Bobby Witt the thumbnail, seeing if that would give him a little karma. So far, it hasn't worked. But he's only had 1 at bat. 5-11. That's a ballpark single check, 1-13, but that's an 18. So, boy, the anti-karma is against him. That's a liner to short. 1 away. And here comes Vinny Castilla. I'm playing both sides, Alex. I can't. I mean, if I'm playing the computer and I'm managing one team, then yeah, I'll match with that. But that's just too much. That might not come up as often, ID, if I did that, because the chances of rolling triples on these dice are probably not as good as rolling 5s. I don't know what the numbers would be on that, but lots of good things to think. Oh, that's a 1, so chance of a wild pitch, but he has a 0 wild pitch rating. So we move on to Pasquintina, 4-7. That's a single 2 stars. That'll score the run. It's 3-0 Kansas City. And Marco fooled him in the first 2 innings, but the third inning, they are getting to him. That'll bring up Salvador Perez. Pasquintina, that's a 2, so chance of a balk or a pass ball. That's a pass ball check. Bart's pass ball is a 2. And no pass ball. Here's Perez. 5-8 against the right-hander, and that's a walk. So Marco Gonzales might not be long for this game the way he is going. Pirate bullpen is loosening. Right-hander Ryder Ryan. Another good name. Ryder Ryan is loosening in the Pittsburgh bullpen. Gonzales to Hampson now. Hampson walked his first time up. 4-4, and that's ground ball third base X. That's to keep Ryan Hayes. He's a 1, so it's possible they could turn a double play. Try to get out of the inning. 12, that might still work with a double play as long as there's no error. Let's check it out. A 1 and a 12 is a G1. And now we're looking at third base. That's a 9, and he is an E8. So 8 and a 9. There is no 9, so it's going to be a 5-4-3 double play around the horn. And that will get Gonzales out of the inning. But 3 runs for Kansas City. And they take a 3-0 lead going to the bottom of the third. I've come to realize that, and it may be because they're so stat-oriented, that the people at Strat may not just have any creativity. It may be beyond their capacity to be creative. Maybe that's too harsh, but show me something otherwise. I mean, show me where they've been creative other than, like, what is this Strat Max thing that most people don't like? Where have they been creative? Where have they been innovative? Have they been the first ones to come out with something? Any new, fresh idea? Cruz, 4-12. That's a fly to left. 1 away. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Great game. And I'll always play it. But just, I'm thinking of things that could be a little bit better. 2-6 against the right-hander. And McCutcheon will walk again. He walked the first time. He's going to walk again. 1 away, and here's Brian Reynolds. Six-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. This could be a double play. Second baseman is lost, and he's a 3. 3 and a 13. That might get him a G1, probably a G2, but we'll see. 3 and a 13 is a G2, so they can't get the double play, but that's a 15. That could be problematic. He is an E15, and it is a 15. But it's a 14, 17, and 18 there, no 15. So it's going to be a G2 fielder's choice. And that's going to go 4-6 on the fielder's choice. Reynolds will take over as the new runner. ID, we should do another, I don't know what you call it, co-op, and get on here and give our state of the art or state of the opinion on state of the address on Strat-O-Matic. All right, here's Brian Reynolds. Needs a 4 to get the lead. Nothing there. Here's Rowdy Tellez. Whoa, got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll that. 6-7, and that's another ground ball second base X. Again, loft and under siege on a ground ball, but a 3-9. He'll get to that. That is a 12, or 11 rather. So E15 and 11. There's no 11. Oops, E15 to no 11. And a 9 and a 3 is a G3. That's all they need because that's the third out. So he will just throw to first and end the inning. Oh, no, not debate, because I think ID and I, for the most part, with Strat-O-Matic are probably on the same page. Probably on the same page. Probably on the same page. All right, so let's see. Do we want to bring in Ryder Ryan, or do we want to let Marco keep going? We're going to give Marco another chance. How about that? Got lefties coming up, so we'll give Marco another chance here. Yes, Jeremiah, that's exactly what the way I was. It's the way replay baseball does there. It's done by how many outs there are and base running situations. So if we're looking at a rare play on Strat, say if it's a G2 rare play, you'd have to have rare plays for 1 out, 2 outs, and no outs, and on that G2 result. And then also with runners, how the runners are on base. If nobody's on base, obviously you can't have a rare play where they try for a double play and the shortstop drops the ball trying to exchange the throw, different things like that. Depending on how detailed you want to get, I guess. But 6-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. O'Neill Cruz is a 4E36. 4E36. 4-11. 4-11 is a G3, so he'll get to it. That's a 10, and he's an E36. E36 and a 10 is a good play. O'Neill Cruz makes the play. 1 down. And here's Nick Lofton. 4-3 against a right-hander. The ground ball pitcher X, he's a 2E0, so no, he can't make an error. We're just checking the 2 part. 2 and a 5, though, that might sneak by. Have to wait and see. 2 and a 5 for a pitcher. Nope, G3, he'll get to it. So Gonzales makes the play. 2 down. The only thing I'm concerned about trying to put a lot of time into rare plays is the fact that they're rare and they don't come up very often. So is it worth all that work for something that may come up once every couple of games? That's, do I really want to put my energy into that? That's the problem. 1-6 for Melendez, lefty on lefty, and that's a pop up to second. And the inning is over. What I may do is just start using the replay baseball rare playbook and see if I can incorporate it into the Strat-O-Matic situation and see if I can, if it talks about an error check, maybe I re-roll in the error of the runner or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to get too far off because it's going to get away from the game itself, and I don't want to alter the game. Then you're playing something that's not Strat-O-Matic all of a sudden. So I don't want to get. All right, here is Wacha 5-4, catcher X. That's Perez. He's a 3E1. Nobody on base, so you can't have a pass ball or anything. 3-11 for a catcher. Let's see what he's got. 3-11 is a pop. It's going to be a foul out, assuming there's no error. There's an 11 there, and he's an E1. So, yeah, that's definitely not a problem. So, foul out to Salvador Perez for out number 1. Now Wacha's injury is a 6-12, so no error or no injury on the play. 6-9 is going to be a fly to left. That's 2 down. 2 down. And in all candor, the rare plays in Strat-O-Matic don't hinder the game in any way. It's just they're just kind of meh. And I could probably do without them, to be quite honest with you. And some people I think have done that. Some people I think have rolled a 5 and just did a re-roll or something. So I don't know. I mean, that's why I say play the game the way you want to play it. And if you want to homebrew it where you don't have rare plays at all to not worry about them, that's fine too. 6-9. And that's going to be another fly to left. Same roll we just had. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 5th. And this will be the fatigue inning for Gonzales. 5 is his fatigue inning. Wacha's is 6. So top of the 5th, still 3-0. That 3-run explosion in the 3rd is held up. And Dairon, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, Dairon, Dairon Blanco. I'm guessing here, I don't know. 4-6 right-handed is a solid single, and Blanco can run. Look at this. He's a 2-2. He's going to get the jump regardless. He stole 31 bases, got caught 7 times. So he's going to get the lead. Still roll for it in case we get a pickoff or something. Nope, nothing happening there. So he's going to get the leads a 19. And Gonzales is a -1, so that's going to be a -3. So it'll be a 1 to 16. And again, the T rate is only a 2, so they will throw down. So 1 to 16, he steals it. That's a 17. Second time we rolled a 16 or higher, or 17 or higher. Rolled a 20 on a caught stealing of Garcia. Now I roll a 17, and it's a caught stealing here. So Joey Bart has thrown out 2 Kansas City Royals thanks to the D20 being a 17 and a 20. Go figure. That's why you roll the dice. Here's Garcia, 6-7 to Gonzales. Ground ball second base X, and the other Gonzales will try to field it. 4E10, 4 and 11. Should be okay, I would hope. 4 and 11 is a G3. Good enough. And that's a 7, and he is an E10. And it's good enough. No problem. 4 to 3. 2 down. And that will bring up Bobby Witt, who's 0 for 2. 2-6 against the lefty. He's going to be 0 for 3, boys. So giving him the thumbnail did not help his cause at all. That's going to be it for Marco Gonzales. They're going to cap him at 5 innings. And let's see how many hits he gave up. Well, he gave up 3 runs, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Did walk a couple. Walked 1, 2, 3. And I don't believe he struck anyone out. No, 0, no strikeouts. That's very unusual not to have any strikeouts, but he didn't. And so the Pirates will actually go to a different pitcher now that we've gotten to the 6th inning. They will go to a different relief pitcher than was mentioned before. They will actually go to Colin Holderman. He was 3-6, 3.16 in the 2024 season. Colin Holderman. He's a +5 on the hold rating. That's not going to help the cause any, so that's a +5. But he will be the new pitcher in the top of the 6th. Right now, Wacha, his fatigue is the 6th inning, so he's definitely good to go. All right, here is Jack Zawinski. He is in left field. Normally plays center, but playing left field in this one. Walked his first chance. 4-2. That's a ballpark blast. It's only a 1 to 3, though, so just a fly to right and nothing else going on with that. Easy play. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. Here's Michael Taylor. 6-8, and that's right in the spot Wacha didn't want it. 1 to 2 is a double. 11 will be a single. So Michael Taylor with the 1-out single, and he's a threat to run. 4, 5, or 6 will get him the lead. 5, he gets the lead. He's going to go. 19 being held as a 17. -3, there's a 14. 1 to 14, he'll steal it. 15, the Devil Dyke has done it again. It's the 3rd time that on steal attempts, the D20 has come up extremely high. And just like that, another caught. They've had 3 steal attempts. They've all been caught on rolls of 15, 17, and 20. Go figure. Maybe it should just stay on the base. Here is O'Neill Cruz. 6-8 to the lefty, and that's going to be a base hit. Single for O'Neill Cruz, and now I'm kind of treading whether I should try for the. I still got the odds. They got to come around. So needs a 7, doesn't get it, so it doesn't matter anyway. And here's Andrew McCutcheon. It's a 3-6, and that's trouble for Wacha. 1 to 12 is a home run, but that's a 20. It'll be a double. Let's see if they want to send Cruz. A double, again, is assumed to go to center field when it's not listed. Blanco is a -1. Cruz is a 15, being held as a 14. And then the -1's a 13. The way the D20's been rolling with only 1 out, they will hold him at third base. So 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Infield is back because, I'm sorry, there are 2 outs. You know what? I forgot about the caught stealing. So let me recalculate this. We may send him anyway with 2 outs. I think we're going to have to. Let's redo this again. Double. He's a 14 for being held, 2 outs gives him a 16, minus 115. They're going to send him 1 to 15. They're going to send Cruz. And he's in there. So Cruz makes it. I forgot that there were 2 outs. That single made me think there was only 1 out, but I forgot about the caught stealing. So Cruz motors around first base, or third base rather, and McCutchen with an RBI double. So it cuts the lead to 3-1. 2 outs, and here's Brian Reynolds. 2, so chance of a balk or a pass ball. That's a chance of a balk on Wacha, but he has 0 balk rating. 3-6 for Reynolds. That's a single 2 stars, and they'll score McCutchen. All of a sudden, it's a 3-2 ball game. And they're starting to get to Wacha on the 3rd time through the order. Here's Rowdy Tellez. Reynolds needs a 4 to get the lead. See if he can obtain the lead or not. He does not, so he will hold. And Rowdy Tellez will bat. 4-5, and he's going to strike out to end the inning. Just the 2nd strikeout for Wacha. But the Pirates put 2 on the board and cut the lead to 3-2 as we go to the 6th inning. And Colin Holderman will be the new pitcher for Pittsburgh. He was 3-6, 3.16 ERA, and no saves in the 24 season. Did pitch 51 innings, allowed 42 hits. Right-handed throwing Colin Holderman. They'll be facing Pasquantino, Perez, and Hampson for the Kansas City Royals. 3-4, and that's going to be a ground ball to short plus injury, so Pasquantino may have injured himself. Look at it again, 3-4, ground ball, shortstop A plus injury. So we know he's going to be out. Now it's just a matter if he's going to be out of this game or many future games. We go to our injury chart. It's actually in the back of the, I can either use the one in the rule book or I can use the one on the pitcher, on the super advanced pitcher catcher thing, because it has the same chart right here on this piece of paper. So 1-4, and he'll be able to stay in the game. 5 or 6, he misses the remainder of this game, but comes back next game. More than that, he may have to miss some time. We shall see. That's a 20. Boy, that's terrible. 60 plus. So let's see how many at-bats did he have. Pasquantino had 536. So we come to the at-bats. So maximum injury on this chart is 6, but since I do everything by a third, because it's only a third of the season, he's going to miss 2 games. So he's going to miss the rest of this Pittsburgh series. He will be able to come back in the next block of games, but Pasquantino will have to miss the rest of the series. Vinny Pasquantino out 2 games. All right, so Pittsburgh will need a new first baseman. Now, Connor Joe would normally be there, but he was resting, so I don't know. I think the injury we may get to override the resting thing because of the injury. You got to have somebody play first base. Although we got Jared Triolo. Jared Triolo is rated for first base, so we'll go ahead and put him in since it's prior to the 7th inning. So Triolo, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong team. I need Kansas City, not Pittsburgh. What am I doing? At the wrong team. Let's get a first baseman for Kansas City. Do they have any? Well, Hunter Renfroe's the same way. He could play first base, but he's resting. Unless we got somebody else in here. We could move Salvi Perez to first base and put in a backup catcher. Could move Adam Frazier to first base. Nick Law. There's a whole lot of guys that can play first base. Melendez can play first base. A whole lot of guys can play first base. Melendez is a 4E25, 4E30. They can play first base, but not very well. 4E30, 4E25. So whoever they bring in to play first base is not going to be good except for Perez, but I hate to take him away from his catching. You don't want to mess up the pitcher-catcher battery connection that they have. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move MJ Melendez from left field to first base. Or no, he's a DH. I can't do that. Never mind. But pick somebody else. So we will go with, let's see who's on the bench first of all. Yep, okay. They're going to bring in Michael Massey to play second base, and they will move Lofton from second base to first base. That's how they're going to play that. That's how they'll get around that. So Pasquantino or Pasquantino, will be out for a few games. So Massey will come in and play second base. And moving from second to first base is Lofton. And Massey will come on here. Play second base. So Massey will be the new second baseman. Lofton will move to first base. And that should be enough to get by. So with one out, Pasquantino, of course, will miss the rest of the series. He'll probably fly back to Kansas City because Kansas City started the season in San Diego. Now they're in Pittsburgh. When they finish the series, they'll go home to start their home opener. And by that time, Pasquantino will be ready to play. Here's Perez, 1-7, and it's going to strike out. Halderman gets the strikeout. 2 down for Garrett Hampson, right fielder. 5-3, and that's a ballpark blast. It's a 1-3. That's a 15. So just a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So Halderman pitches fine, and they'll leave him in for another inning because he gave up nothing. He has full endurance to pitch a second inning. So Halderman will come back for that second inning. Michael Wacha, this is his fatigue inning. He does have that 6 by his name, so we'll keep an eye on fatigue for Wacha. 3-2 ball game, bottom of the 6th here in Pittsburgh. Hello, Joel. Good to see you. 3-9 for Hayes is a ground ball to short, and that's 1 away. Whoa, Tabby, you scared me there for a second. She jumped right up on the perch right next to me, and that just kind of startled me a bit. Wasn't expecting that by any means. Here's Joey Bart. 3-4 for Bart, and look at that. That's a solid home run right there. No doubt about it. Solid home run. No D20 needed. That's gone. Joey Bart has just tied this ball game at 3. Gotten Gonzales off the hook. We are tied up at 3 apiece on the solid home run from Joey Bart. And now here's Nick Gonzales. Wow, that's a lot of rare plays. You kept track of those, Jeremiah? You kept that's interesting to have the forethought to keep track of those. Let's see, 2-7, fly ball to left, 1 away. One of these days, I'm going to keep track of how many times I roll a 1 on the D20, and just because it obviously seems like more than 5% when I'm doing rolls that matter on the D20. All right, here's Zawinski. 6-10, and again, Wacha's a 6-12. 6-10 is a fly ball to left, and that's going to do it, and that'll do it for Wacha. He will leave with he still could win it if the Royals score in the 7th inning. He could still win it. Can't lose it. So Wacha's going to go 6 innings, give up 3 runs. And let's see here how many hits he gave up. Wow, I didn't even realize he had a no-hitter going until the 6th inning. Until the 5th inning. I did not know that. Wasn't even paying attention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits he allows. He did walk 2 and hit a batter. Actually, walked 3 and hit a batter. And he only struck out 2. All right, so the Royals will need a new pitcher in their half of the 7th right now. Halderman back out. He went 1, 2, 3 in the 6th, so they'll let him pitch the 7th. It's going to have Frazier, Lofton, and Melendez due up. 4. And actually, you know what? They're going to – man, let me see. Do they have how many lefties they got on the bullpen? Because they got 2 lefties coming up, so we might switch off and do a lefty here. We might go to Josh Fleming, a left-hander. They are. So Halderman's going to come out. We're going to go to Josh Fleming, a lefty. He's 1-1 with a 4.02 ERA and a save. But he is left-handed. The only other left-hander they have is Chapman. He's their closer, so we're not going to use him this early. But Halderman's going to go 1 inning, not give up anything with a strikeout. And now Fleming is on. He is a -3 hold, so that's a -2 altogether. And he'll be facing Frazier, Lofton, and Melendez. Although we're in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting definitely allowed if they want to replace any of those people. Frazier will swing 5-4. That's a fly ball center field X. That is Taylor. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. E6 is the only question mark. And that is a 12. E6 and a 12 for a center fielder. E6 and a 12. There is no 12, so good play for Michael Taylor. One away. And that will send up Nick Lofton, who's now at first base. 4-6, and that's a single to left field. So he was 0 for 2 as a second baseman. We move him to first base, and he gets a base hit. No threat to run, and here comes MJ Melendez. Now, he only faced lefties 18% of the time. He is the DH, so we can bring in anybody we want to DH. Possibly a right-hander. Possibly could even bring in Hunter Renfroe because he's back, in the seventh inning, he can come back from injury. So they are going to use Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe will pinch hit for Melendez and stay in the game as the DH. So this is Renfroe. He will stay in the game to DH. He had to rest, but we've made it to the seventh inning, so he no longer needs the rest. So he is eligible to step in there and hit against the lefty Fleming. 2-5 for Renfroe, and he struck out. 2 down, and that's going to take us over to Darian Blanco or Dayron Blanco. I'm not sure. I've got to do some research and figure out how to pronounce that first name. It looks like from the spelling it's Dayron, but it could be something different. I don't know. On my luck, it probably is. 5-8. Right-handed, ground ball to third. That's going to end the inning. Key Brian Hayes will handle it. So we made it to the seventh inning stretch, and we're tied at 3. Fleming, will see if he comes back or not. He might. You never know. His fatigue is a 3 for relief, so he certainly could if he wanted to. Royals will need a new pitcher, as they have gotten 6 innings out of Wacha. Scheduled hitters are Taylor, Cruz, and McCutchen, 2 righties and a lefty. So most likely we'll be looking at a right-hander. And let's see who they're going to go to. Actually, they're going to switch off and do a lefty. They're going to go to Angel Zerpa. Left-hander, Angel Zerpa. So Zerpa is on. He was 2-0 with a 3.86 ERA in real world. Angel Zerpa. -1 hold makes him a -3. And we'll see what happens here. Michael Taylor will step up to lead off the bottom of the 7th. 5-3 on Zerpa is a ground ball pitcher X. I'll tell you, bring a new pitch. I always say you bring a new fielder in, the ball finds you. I'll tell you what, you bring a pitcher in, the ball finds him. He's a 2 E51. That's E51. Looks troublesome. 2 and a 20. You know he's going to get to it, but a 7 on an E51 is an E51 just sticks out like a sore thumb, but we'll find out. 51 is the highest you can have, and there's a 7 right there. So will be an error on Zerpa. Look at all those error chances. In fact, the only way you don't make an error on an E51 is you got to roll a 6 or less. A 3 through 6. Well, you can't even roll a 5 because that would go to a rare play. So 3, 4, and 6 are the only ways he's going to not make an error. Everything else he would make an error on. So Zerpa will boot it. E1. Taylor's aboard. To get the lead, he needs a 4, 5, or a 6. Does not get the lead, he'll hold. And here's O'Neal Cruz. And again, with this 24 set, sometimes you think, okay, now's a good time to bunt. D-bunter. So kind of ends that. Lefty on lefty matchup, Zerpa against Cruz, 5-8. And that's a double, 1-14. Look at that, 2-star double. Boy, Zerpa is getting hammered. But it's a 3-batter rule, so you can't take him out yet. You got to let him pitch to 1 more batter at least. That's the rule in 2000. I think it was instituted in 2020 or 21, one of the two. 3-batter rule. So here's McCutchen. The infield has come in for Kansas City, trying to choke the runoff. 5-7, and that's a strikeout and a huge one for Zerpa. So he strikes out McCutchen, and now you got the switch hitting Reynolds. And he's kind of decent both ways, I guess. So they're going to go ahead and leave Zerpa in there. And you got the lefty Tellez after that. So infield still in. Zerpa trying to pitch out of it. 4-10, switch hitter batting right-handed. Ballpark single check. It's 1-13. That's a 7, so it's a base hit. It's only 1 star. Going to third is Cruz. Scoring is Taylor. And the Pirates now lead it 4-3. They've come all the way back to lead 4-3. And the next man up is Tellez. So they'll let Zerpa pitch to Tellez, and that'll be it for him. Reynolds trying to get the lead with a 4. Does not get it. So we'll go on to Rowdy Tellez. Infield playing for the double play. 2-10 to Tellez, and that's a split chance. 1-5 is a single, but that's a liner to second. And that will end the inning, and that will end the day for Angel Zerpa, as he is gone. He's going to go 2/3 of an inning, and he's going to give up 2 hits, 1 run unearned, but he's responsible for both of these guys. No walks and a strikeout. And now Kansas City will bring in a right-hander to face Ke'Bryan Hayes. And the right-hander they're going to bring in is... What do they bring in here? They're going to bring in Carlos Hernandez. 0-1, 330 earned run average. So Carlos Hernandez trying to get out of the inning and keep it at a 1-run damage. Runners at the corners. Hernandez is a +9 hold, so that's not going to help the cause in case somebody wants to try to steal. Ke'Bryan Hayes is your batter. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. 1 in, which is unearned. 2-5, and that is going to be a 1 for a single. And else he lines it to third, and that's going to end the inning. So 1 run comes in. It's unearned, but it's Zerpa's own fault. It's his error that did it. We go to the 8th. Score now 3-2. 4-3 rather, in favor of the Pirates. They were down 3-0. They've come all the way back. And with some righties coming up, that's going to be it for Fleming. He's going to go 1 inning. And he's going to give up a hit. Nothing else. Gets a strikeout. And they will go to the bullpen for a right-hander. And it will be Mr. Bednar, I think. Yep, Bednar. 8, a 5.77 ERA, but he had 23 saves. So he's the guy they would normally bring in a situation like this, and then maybe have Chapman try to close it in the 9th. So Bednar, I think Bednar got those saves after they traded Chapman away. So I believe he was a setup guy early on. So Miguel Garcia stepping to the plate. Make sure that dice tray fits in there. I don't want that falling off to the side. 2-9 for Garcia is a ball to second. 1 away. Play made by Gonzales. And that brings up Bobby Witt. He's 0 for 3. 4-8. He's going to draw the base on balls. So he is the tying run on base. He's definitely looking to run, particularly with that +5 hold chance. So a 2 through 6 will get him the lead. And he gets the lead. So it's basically going to be a 1-19. Bart's a T2. They'll throw through just in case to get a 20. Oh, it was almost a 20. It came back at the last minute. So stolen base for Bobby Witt. But that 20 almost, I mean, it came very, very close. Put it that way. All right, so here's Michael Massey. His first at bat since coming in for the injured Pasquantino. Witt at second base and 1 out. 6-9. I got to check Bednar's injury chances, and we roll a 6 because anything can come up on that. So Bednar, he is a 1, which means it's 6-12. So 6-9 is good against the left-hander, but it's a ballpark blast. Only a 3 though. That's a 5. So deep fly to right. 2 down. And that will bring up Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez. Clutch situation with Witt at second base and 2 down. 1-7 for Perez, and he's going to strike out to end the inning. So Bednar did his job. Sets it up for Aroldis Chapman in the 9th. Bednar 1 inning. Did walk a batter. Struck out a batter, gave up nothing else. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Score still 4-3. Hernandez coming back out, only faced one batter, so he's going to come back out to face Bart, Gonzales, and Zawinski for the Pirates. 4-3 ball game, bottom of the 8th. 5-5, and that is going to be a strikeout for Hernandez. One away. Nick Gonzales, your batter. Whoa, that white die didn't go through. Let's try that again. Gonzales has flown to left all 3 times. For 7, he will draw a base on balls on this occasion, as the Pirates try to get an insurance run. And with Hernandez as +5, that's certainly tempting. 2 through 5 or a 12 will get him the lead. That's a 7. He does not establish a lead, so we go to Jack Zawinski. Zawinski, left fielder, is 0 for 2. 2-6, and that's a 1-5 single. Anything else, he lines to second, but the double die is a 3, so it's low number. And we got runners at first and second with 1 out for Michael Taylor. Taylor is 1 for 2, rather. He's scored a run, but got caught stealing as well. See what he can do. 3-7, he will fly to center. That's 2 away. And it's down to O'Neill Cruz to get an insurance run across for Pittsburgh. 4-8. 1-6 is a double, but that's a 10. So he's just going to fly to right to end the inning, and that will do it for Hernandez. He's going to go an inning and a third. Give up a single and a walk, no runs, and he struck out 1. So we go to the 9th, last chance for the Kansas City Royals, and they'll have to do it against the closer, Aroldis Chapman. Chapman, I believe, would later get traded to, I think it's Houston he got traded to, I'm not sure. These are all his Pittsburgh numbers, because when you switch leagues, they give you a separate card for each league. 5-5, 3.79 ERA, and 14 saves for Chapman. So Chapman is there, trying to protect a 4-3 lead. He's got a 0 hold, so that makes it a +1. And he'll be facing Hampson, Frazier, and Lofton. Although they may pinch hit for Frazier, we'll have to wait and see. First off, it's Garrett Hampson. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a strikeout for Chapman. 1 away, and they will pinch it for Frazier. 1, he's a lefty. 2, he hit .202 on the season, so they want somebody a little bit better. Maybe somebody that can tie the game with 1 swing of the bat. Let's see who they've got that has some pop, particularly against lefties. Boy, everybody they have has weak power against lefties. That's pretty bad. Nobody seems to have any kind of power against left-handers on the bench. Even the right-handed hitters don't have that. That's pretty bad. So they're going to go with Freddie Fermin. He is the backup catcher. They will use him to pinch hit for Frazier. So Fermin, the pinch hitter, right-handed hitter. On the 24 season, he hit .271 with 6 home runs, but he does have weak power against lefties. So he can't get the home run, but he can get some extra base hits there in column 3. It looks pretty juicy. So here's Chapman to Freeman, 312, and that's a low max to short, so that's out number 2. 2 down, it's up Nick Lofton, last chance for Kansas City. 6-10, got to check Chapman for injury. 6-10, go to Pittsburgh, Chapman. Chapman's a 1, so 6-12 would be the injury. So we check 6-10, it's a strikeout, and that's the ball game. Chapman does his job. Chapman does Chapman things. And the Pirates win it 4-3. Chapman gets the save, giving up nothing and striking out 2. For the Royals, 3 runs, 6 hits, and that one big error that cost them the game on Zerpa, Pittsburgh had no errors, and they had 8 hits. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Pittsburgh. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for Kansas City. Winning pitcher in this one is the guy who pitched the 6th inning, and that was Holderman. So Holderman gets the win, and Chapman gets the save. The loss goes to Zerpa. Let me bring the Strat computer up real quick. I had to shut it down when I had to reboot and get the records and see. I think Kansas City drops to 1-3 and Pittsburgh goes to 2-2, but don't quote me on it. Let me see what the standings show. All right, Kansas City drops to 1-3. Pittsburgh does go to 2-2. Okay, so they were both 1-2 going into this game. Kansas City lost 2 of 3 to San Diego. Pittsburgh lost 2 of 3 to the Yankees. But now Pittsburgh is 2-2. Kansas City is 1-3. So, only thing about this is Pasquantino. I got to pull him from the roster and bring somebody else up so they can have a complete lineup for the series. They don't want to be playing shorthanded. So they will need another person to fill that roster spot for the last 2 games of the series. He'll be eligible when they go to Kansas City and play their 7th game. Yeah, like I said, Canadian, I don't know that much about these players. I would just look going by their statistics, but maybe Holderman is a good guy to get the holds. I don't know how many holds he had in real world or whatever. And sometimes when you bring guys in, sometimes it's just gut instinct or feel or whatever you want to call it. Even if the statistics don't necessarily 100% match up, you might just have a gut feeling that this guy is going to do better than somebody else might do. It's all, a lot of managing is just gut feeling, not necessarily all statistics. But hey, sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. I mean, I brought Zerpa in, and he would have normally been all right, except he booted the ball. I didn't pay attention. I didn't catch that he had an E50 something error rating. Oh yeah, Holderman. I got you now, because his first 4 letters of his name is Hold. I got you. Took me a second to figure that out. I probably need more coffee. Usually I go down and heat my coffee the 7th inning stretch, but I decided to bypass that this time and just stick with what I had. And I'll heat this later. Tabby's making some noise. Let me see if I can get over here to show where she is. She's kind of hidden by the laptop here. If I can move this out of the way a little bit. There you go. I might give you a little bit better picture of Tab. It's kind of sideways, but hey, she's here on a little perch by me. She likes to rub her chin against this thing here and against the cords. I got to be careful she doesn't try to bite the cords, but otherwise she just likes to sit here and enjoy things. So anyway, that's going to do it from here. Game number 20 is in the books, and Pittsburgh defeats Kansas City by the score of 4-3. So let me do this. I've got the minor. I got the envelope with all the Kansas City players in it. So let me pull out the minor league guys, and this is the envelope I keep them in. 7-coin envelopes to me work the best for Strat-O-Matic, but you can pick whatever you like. You can even use rubber bands if you want. I mean, Strat seems to encourage that by sending you rubber bands. I'm not sure why they do that, but they do. All right, so let's see who can play first. Well, we got Yuli Gurriel can play first base. And we had 54 at bats. I'm not sure when he got called up, but we may just have to call him up out of necessity. Yep, so it looks like Yuli Gurriel will be joining the Pittsburgh roster. I remember him with the Astros a few years back, but he'll be coming in to take the place of Pasquantino for the rest of the series. And then once Pasquantino comes back, Gurriel will go back to the minors. So Gurriel will, get a game or two, and well, either one game or 2, and then he'll go back to minor leagues. That's just the way it works in this demolition league. Next game will be, I'm not sure what the next game will be because we're going to the only game I haven't played. I'm going to play it offline, kind of out of order because I have this set up. I had game 19 set up to play, but I like this game better for whatever reason. So I'm actually kind of going backwards just a tad. Game 19 ends up being game 20 now because I played them out of order. Is the Cubs versus the Blue Jays. Kevin Gossman against Assad. So I'm not sure if I'm going to. I might go ahead and do that on stream tonight or something. I don't know. It is game 19, so I'm a little bit out of order, but it's the final game of the first. Each team now has new 3-game series, and this is the final 5th game of that first block of 3. So we went from 15 through 20 is the first game of the 3-game series for the next block. This is game 19. So I'll probably do that tonight, I guess, because tomorrow is season ticket baseball, NBC game of the week. I believe it's the Dodgers and the Giants, but don't hold me to it. I don't remember off the top of my head. I get to play in Strat, and I forget about everything else that's going on around here. So it could be anything. I have to look at the schedule and see who it was that played on that particular date. In fact, I can look it up here real quick on the on my little schedule here, if I can find it on my computer. Let's see here. Where did you go? There it is. Sports Time Machine Utah Mike sent me the official NBC schedule for 1978, so I can know who the main game was and the backup. And I tried to pick the main games. Good. So the next game on the NBC game of the week will be a game that was played August the 19th. And we will be at Shea Stadium. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's actually the secondary game. The first game was the Reds and Cubs. But we're going to play the Dodgers and the Mets from Shea Stadium. That will be the game tomorrow. Dodgers versus Mets is the game tomorrow. And then the following Saturday after that, we will be north of the border. I'm sorry, we will be in Boston for the Angels and the Red Sox. But tomorrow is Dodgers Mets. Next Saturday is Angels Red Sox. Probably this Saturday and next Saturday they'll still be at noon. But once we get into September, then we'll be looking to move this up to 11 o'clock because I don't want to run into college football. I know a lot of people want to watch that. So I'll be moving that up just a touch to try to get that straight. All right, so I do thank all of you for spending part of your Friday morning with me. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. Boy, I hope the weather's great where you are. It's wonderful here. The heat and humidity has gone away. We're in the mid-70s. I think the high today is going to be around 80, but it's going to be no humidity. And it's a nice cool breeze. We've got the windows open and getting some fresh air. The rest of the week is supposed to be really, really nice. I mean, not quite fall-like, but certainly not August. I mean, most times in August you're going to get 95 degrees and hot and humid, which is what we had in July. So we kind of flip-flopped. Our July was basically August weather with all that heat. But now we've got this. So tonight, Chicago, Toronto. And then tomorrow at noon will be season ticket baseball. The Dodgers against the Mets at Shea Stadium. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you all down the road.